Today I'm going to show you how to create a powerful automation that combines Claude's streamlined language capabilities and Service Object's reliable and data-driven validation APIs. If you've been following the AI space lately, you've probably heard buzz around something called an MCP, or Model Context Protocol. Today we're going to break down exactly what that is, why it matters, and then build one using Postman's MCP server and the Service Object's Address Validation 3 API. We'll then connect it to Claude Desktop to unleash its full potential. Think of MCP like this. Your AI assistant is incredibly smart, but it lives in a bubble. Without MCP, it can only work within its training data. An MCP server is a lightweight middleware layer. It exposes a set of tools, discrete actions the AI can invoke. When you connect an MCP server to Claude, the model reads those tool descriptions and decides when to use them, calls them automatically, and incorporates the results into its response. Before MCP, if you wanted an AI to validate an address, you'd have to manually call the API yourself, copy the response, paste it into chat, and ask the AI to interpret it. This can be clunky, slow, and hard to scale. With MCP, you configure the connection once. After that, the AI can invoke address validation on its own and deliver an intelligent answer. That's what makes MCP so powerful. It's the bridge between AI reasoning and real-world data. To get started, navigate to Postman, click API Network, and MCP Generator. Search for service objects and select the API and operations you wish to use. For this example, we will choose the Get Best Matches and Get Secondary Numbers operations under AV3. Next, you will click Generate, and when that is finished, download the zip file. Unzip and rename the file in your selected working directory for your MCP. Then, open it up in VS Code. Inside VS Code, you'll want to edit your environment file with a good name for the AV3 license key and enter its value. Then, inside of each API operation JavaScript file, make sure the name of the license key is updated to what you changed it to in the request URL and in the parameters section. Another option you have is to scroll down to the bottom and edit what parameters are required. Postman automatically makes all parameters required, so edit these to fit your use case. For example, for AV3 Get Best Matches, I will make only the address line required. After those edits have been made, open a new terminal and run the command npm install to install the required dependencies. Once that is finished, right-click on the MCP server.js file and copy the path to that file. Then open Postman again and navigate to your workspace to create a new MCP request. Make sure the type is stdio and type in node and paste in the path you just copied. Run this command to connect to the MCP server. Test out the connection inside Postman, and once everything looks good, then we can move on to Claude. Navigate to your Claude Desktop config JSON file and copy the relevant section from the README file of the MCP project folder. Update the names and paths according to your setup and save the file. You will need to completely quit Claude Desktop and then reopen it to make sure the server is recognized. In Claude Desktop, open up your developer settings and make sure the MCP server is enabled. Now you get to test the MCP in Claude. For a quick example, we can test a single address. Claude will access the API and return the results to you in a summarized format. You can also ask it to give you the entire result payload. For a more powerful example, let's upload a file that contains several address records and ask Claude to validate them and display the results in a table. Claude creates a table for me that is easy to read and shows me the breakdown of the results. I can see that some of the records came back with a DPV score of 3, meaning they are missing an apartment or unit number. I can ask Claude to use AV3 get secondary numbers operation to show me the possible values for those records. And that's it. You just built a working MCP server connecting Claude to a real-world data validation API in less than 15 minutes. Let's recap. We introduced MCP, the Model Context Protocol, and explained how it bridges AI reasoning and external services. We explored the Service Object's AV3 API and understood its output. We used Postman to wrap that API as a named MCP tool, and we connected it to Claude Desktop and validated addresses live. This same process can be applied to any of our other validation APIs, such as our phone validation, geocoding, email validation, and more. Make sure to drop a comment below to let me know how you use this tutorial. Thanks for watching!